you. I love you. I love you. It's just a hand. I'm not doing anything suspicious. Just saying hello.
Hello lovelies, welcome to a new reading vlog. So I'm going to start by scrolling down my Kobo and picking the oldest book on it for my Kobo Read It or Delete It challenge. So today's choice is Pandora's Star by Peter F. Hamilton. This looks like a very vintage sci-fi, old school sci-fi. And if you heard my tone, it's because I find a lot of the older classic sci-fi and fantasies tend to be a little misogynistic. Hopefully this is not the case. So this is translated by Marta Garcia Martinez. It's got a 4.23 rating, which is fantastic. It is 768 pages. Let's read the synopsis. The year is 2380. The intersolar Commonwealth, a sphere of stars some 400 light years in diameter, contains more than 600 worlds, interconnected by a web of transport tunnels known as wormholes. At the farthest edge of the Commonwealth, astronomer Dudley Bowes observes the impossible. Over 1,000 light years away, a star vanishes. It does not go supernova. It does not collapse into a black hole. It simply disappears. Since the location is too distant to reach by wormhole, a faster-than-light starship, the Second Chance, is dispatched to learn what has occurred and whether it represents a threat. In command is Wilson Kime, a 5-time rejuvenated ex-NASA pilot whose glory days are centuries behind him. Opposed to the missions are the Guardians of Selfhood, a cult that believes the human race is being manipulated by an alien entity they call the Starflyer. Pursued by Commonwealth special agent convinced the Guardians are crazy but dangerous, Johansson flees, but the danger is not averted. Aboard the Second Chance, Kime wonders if his crew has been infiltrated. Soon enough, he will have other worries. 1,000 light years away, something truly incredible is waiting. A deadly discovery whose unleashing will threaten to destroy the Commonwealth and humanity itself. Could it be that Johansson was right? Fingers crossed. I love this book. Time will tell. Now I'm doing the tarot card pull. There are only 4 prompts left for this deck, and then we'll start again with a new deck. Oh, we've got it. We've got a winner. We've got the Fool, and the prompt for the Fool card is random number generator. Okay. Anything gotta happen. Look, I've got a lot of books in my TBR2 that haven't been published yet. So that is a chance, but let's do it. So how many books do I have? I have 157 books I want to read. Number pick a wheel. Let's just do the number pick a wheel because that's actually kind of cute. I like seeing the graphics for that. So let's do 157, 157, and spin. What we got, baby? 87. Look, I love the theatrics of that. 87. Let's see. What is number 87? I just realized I cannot do it on my iPad because it's not numbered. So I'm going to go on my computer and scroll to number 87. If that's a no-go, I will do it again and put it on here, until I get a book that I can read right now. So I will continue doing that. You'll see what the book is. I am going out today. I'm meant to be going to the city because today's the last day we're doing free public transport. So I wanted to go to like South Melbourne, all these places I don't normally go because it's more expensive. But it's supposed to be a sunny, clear day, and it has been raining and it's grey. So I actually don't know if I'm going to do it. I'm like, do I bother going all the way into the city if I'm just going to get drenched? Like, I didn't do my hair today because I'm like, it's going to get rained on and go frizzy and fucked up anyway. What's the point? We'll see. I might just do it because, like I said, free public transport and just let myself get rained on. Like, I'm not going on a date. It doesn't matter if I get washed out, I guess. Yeah, so I'll see you later. I'm also going to go to the library, I think today, and do a book haul. So I'll show you that as well.
Hello.
I just got this as an arc on that galley. And we'll get onto that. But guys, look too, I just got an arc for this as well. They're already out. So cute. Look at that kitty cat. Oh my god. Oh, I think I'm gonna have to get some. I have to get them anyway. It's so pretty. So this is South Melbourne markets. These are very famous. I did not have the energy to go there today, but it's definitely a tourist spot. This is where I am going, Cove Black Supposedly, if this does well, they'll do white chicks too. I really want white chicks too. Okay, I'm back. I didn't get to do as much as I wanted to because I was bending down to give someone some money, and that coffee, the last one that you saw, which I had 4 sips of and was delicious, I dropped it. I dropped it and it spilled and it went all over me. And as you can see, I'm wearing all white today, and coffee and all white do not mix. Luckily, no one else was splattered by my dropped coffee except for me, but I was like, I'm done. I'm going home. I got to get this out before it sets because that will be a bad time. So it is what it is. I did a little bit of stuff, but just not as much as I was hoping. I bought some yarn to make a bag for a deck that I have that I made. I went to one library at least and go to the other one, but I picked up Aisha Soraya Buazu. I'll find that out later. Temptress Monster Warrior. It's a very pretty cover. I thought I'd give it a try. And I did do the whole 3 for 2 at the bookstore. So I'm slowly collecting the whole set. I have not started the 8th one. I'm really nervous too. I'm worried that it's not going to be that great, but I will start it and read it in this vlog, so you will see my thoughts on number 8. I also grabbed some cat sticky notes to write little notes for Indiana in her lunchbox. I thought these were super cute. I also got this tote because I needed a bag to carry all of my new books in. But loved Swap, that was fantastic. A really great secondhand designer for reasonable prices. So I didn't have the funds to buy anything today. I need to sell some more of my clothes to add to my thrifting budget. I would go and check out their other branches that are a bit more easier to get to than that one. I did get on the wrong tram as well. Went like 20 minutes out of my way. But yeah, I managed to get a decent amount done, but that's everything for today. Oh my God, no, it's not everything for today. Let me get my notes because I did read an arc that I got, which was Death Meets Cute. Okay, so Death Meets Cute. This is a cozy fantasy. It might have been a bit too cozy for me. I ended up giving it a 3 stars. It's about a witch named Iris. She's part of a coven. She's got 2 sisters. They all have very cutesy familiars. Her one is a hedgehog that these familiars do talk to them. And they're wicked witches. They're baddies. But she decides that she wants to go her own way. She wants to do her own thing. So she leaves her sisters and goes to this small town. And on her first day back, an orc shows up at her door and then promptly dies on her doorstep. And she's like, you know what? I need some new muscle. I need a new guard. So I'm just going to do some necromancy and raise this bitch from the dead. And voila, instant servant / employee to protect me. But when she does bring him back from the dead, turns out he's a softie. He loves to bake. He loves to be a house husband. And she's like, okay, not what I was expecting from this like 6'7" big green orc man, but it's nice to have meals and have the house clean and whatnot, so he can stay for now, because she's also trying to figure out what's happening. Her powers are glitching, and then her sisters rock up and they're like, someone's cursed us. None of our powers are working. We've got to figure this out. Okay, so yes, once again, too cozy for me. Unfortunately, nothing much really happens in this. When I saw that this was a witch and a dead orc, I was like, okay, necromantic monster romance, but it's PG in terms of spice. And that was not what I was expecting. I thought it would have been a bit more raunchier since she's making out with a dead monster. But also some dubious consent here, because when she raises him from the dead, that spell comes with sort of forced proximity clause, like they can't go further away from their master than they can, and she becomes his employer essentially. So there's a bit of an icky power dynamic and power imbalance with that. I didn't love that situation. Also felt nothing for the romance. It did nothing. It was just whatever. Biggest issue too, why it doesn't even need to be fantasy. This could have literally been about Bob and Jill next door. There's zero world building going on. Yeah, she does some spells. She raises an orc from the dead. They've got talking familiars, but where were we, you know? Also, the wicked witches, they're just like slightly mischievous. They're giving like imp goblin vibes. They're not evil, even though they like to think that they're evil. I'm like... So that was a bit lackluster, and they're very upset because their dad decided to be a good witch, and they're like, how dare he? But I'm like, you guys are just basically teenagers pulling pranks. Like, that's the level of villainy you've got going on here. So it just, yeah, it wasn't for me. It was a bit of a nothing burger of a book. And then I started listening to another arc, and this one was called, let me bring it up, A Field Guide for the Formerly Villainous by Autumn K. England. And this is about a formerly evil villain who was part of an evil cult, had some minions, and years later, the realm's hero has saved the day, and they've defeated the villains and they've shattered the spell that, you know, got this person caught up in this evil cult, and they're suddenly left alone. And they're like, what do we do? They've got a bit of a spell damaged brain, and I think they just decide to buy a small farm, get into the slow way of living, deal with their trauma. This is so fucking boring. This is so boring. And I'm like, okay, I don't think this is for me. I've listened to 30% of this audiobook, and I think I'm going to DNF, because coming on the heels of Death Meets Cute, which just scraped in at a 3 stars for me, this isn't going to do better. And it seems to have a lot of exclamation marks, because the audio narrator is emphasizing a lot of things. So I'm assuming there's exclamation marks there, but I just don't care about Oakland whatsoever. And there's no cute little animal familiars here to at least keep me a little bit interested. So I think I'm going to DNF it. It's just not for me. A lot of cozy isn't. Sometimes, every now and again it is, which is why I continue to try it. But this one, I'm just not the reader for it, and it's not going to get a high rating for me. So 30% in is enough for me to go, yeah, not the right book for this woman. So I'm DNFing that as well. So off with the free, we're off to a great start. But yeah, I will be doing Dungeon Crawler Carl ebook, and I'll be trying this out to see how it is, and I'll do a library haul tomorrow as well.
Hey guys. Oh, it's so cute. So cute.
Good morning, my lovelies. I have some updates for you. I was reading a book for, excuse the wet hair, for an Amelie screen to page vlog. It was sweet bean paste, and in it this guy has a woman come to his store. She's an elderly lady and she's just looking for any work, and she's like, I make a really amazing sweet bean paste, would you please hire me? And he looks at her and he looks at her arthritic hands and he's like, no thank you, you'd scare away the customers. But she keeps begging and begging, and until she's pretty much begging to work for basically nothing, basically for free. And he's like, it would be great to have some essentially free labor in the store. Let me just try her red bean paste. And he does, and he's like, this is phenomenal, this is fantastic, I'm going to make so much money off this. And respectfully, you're a piece of shit, sir, go fuck yourself. So I'm like, I'm sure eventually he'll grow a heart and he'll actually be nice to this old lady that's just trying to survive and is in chronic pain. But for me, I was like, I don't want to read this book anymore. And to be honest, I'm a bit like over screen to page. So I've decided to wrap it up. I'm going to do one final one in the future because I've already pre-filmed a whole bunch. So they're in there. And I'm letting viewers decide on the final one. So you'll see information about that in January. You'll see it in January. But yeah, I'm scrapping the Amelie one because I just can't be bothered trying to find another book that I think might work for Amelie. And I am 35% of the way through Dungeon Crawler Carl 8. So I talked about this series as a whole in my previous vlog, and I don't want to repeat myself. So if you want to find out more about that, go there. This one's not that great. Can't believe I'm saying that. So far, this is feeling like my least favorite of the series, where essentially in this level, car racing, so they can't be last, they've got to make it across the finish line at least in second last place every day, or they'll be killed. And they've been paired with NPCs, which are non-playable characters, and they're worried that if all the NPCs die and get killed, they're going to be crawler against crawler, and there's so few of them left because a lot of them took deals in the last round to get out of the show. And yeah, I don't know, man, it's feeling like filler. You know, I'm just like, is any of this information important? I just feel like we're going through the motions, whereas in all the other books it was exciting from the start. This one is not exciting from the start, so I'm waiting for it to get good. It was a lot of info dumping in the beginning. I think they were just trying to remind people of what happened in book 7, which, okay, fair enough. But yeah, look, I'm sure by the end of it, I'll enjoy it. I'm sure at the end, it's going to be some massive plot twist, reveal, progression. That's like, oh my God, Carl, what the fuck, you know, because like the further they get into this, the more severe the decisions have to be to survive. So I'm like, what's he going to sacrifice to live, to destroy and bring down this game and this empire and this spectacle of violence? So yeah, not loving it so far. I'm not even joking when I say it's currently feeling like a 3-star, which is just, what the fuck? Doesn't even, look, even if this ends up being less than a 3-star, I'm not going to throw away the series. I'm 8 books in. I will see this series through the end because all of the other books have been 4 to 5 stars every time. That's an insanely high rated series to have that many books that I absolutely loved in one series. Phenomenal. So it doesn't matter how this book goes, I will still continue on in my Dungeon Crawler Carl journey. So that's how I'm feeling at this point in time. I hopefully will go and do that library haul today. Yesterday I ended up using all my spoons earlier than I thought I was going to, so I just didn't do as much as I wanted, but I'm doing that. I'm getting all of my tires changed today, so wish me luck with that, and I will be back with some books. Just dropped the car off. I'm waiting for the tram. I'm going to see if I can surprise my mom. She said she's at an op shop that's nearby, so I'll see if I can do that. Otherwise, I'm going to go and eat some food somewhere.
jacket for my mom.
Hello darlings, I'm back. I had a really good day today. Really good day. Hot tip, if you offer to pay in cash for most businesses, they will give you a discount. I always pay in cash. This week alone with 3 different businesses, I ended up saving $90. $90 that is still in my pocket and I'm probably going to spend on books, let's be real. But I also went to the op shop and I found these boots. So they're army green, they're in really good condition. They've got sparkles, they're not my size. I was like, God damn it. But then I saw the brand, and this brand, these boots, brand new, is $1,700. So I was like, well, they're only $37. Let me see if my kids want them. So I bought them. If kids don't want them, I'm pretty sure that I can resell them at a consignment store for more than $37, considering they were $1,700. Brand new, you know? So I think even if my kids don't like them, mum's gonna make her money back plus on those. So that was fantastic. I got my mum the flower jacket that she had been eyeing but didn't buy herself. I then had lunch. I had a delicious Mont Blanc, which is very Melbourne. It's coffee with whipped cream and orange zest and stuff, and it's nice. I also had a chicken lentil soup. Good soup. It was really good soup. And I had a few compliments today. So someone actually said they really love my haircut. I'm like, oh my God. Because you know how I feel about this haircut. But that was still lovely. And some people liked my pink, bright pink jumper. So just had a good day. Just getting things done, saving that money. Got some parcels in the mail. Started another book award vlog. So yes, and I went to the library today. So I grabbed this book, Bob and Dob by Sean E. Avery. This is for indie. Last week we actually had really good success with this book here. She just fucking loved it. She thought it was hilarious. I prefer I Want My Hat Back by this author. But yeah, she just was dying. So she's probably going to request that for Christmas from Santa. No doubt it'll be on the list. I've got I Want Dopamine for Dinner by Phoebe Thorburn. So this author actually has a YouTube channel, and I watch their YouTube channel, and I saw that this came in at the library. So I thought, let's give it a go, considering V is a gluten-free vegan. We'll see how we go with this cookbook. The Somewhat Wicked Witch of Brigandale by C.M. Wagner. A practical witch must sabotage her beloved son's ascension to the throne in order to keep the kingdom from ruin in this cozy fantasy. Oh, okay. We'll see. Like I said, I need to stop saying that phrase. I just edited my last vlog, and if you had taken a shot every time I said, like I said, you'd have alcohol poisoning. You would have alcohol poisoning. I need to stop that. I need to stop that. No more like I said, Chanel. Sometimes cozy works for me, sometimes, most of the time, majority of the time it doesn't, but I always try. We've got Our Numbered Bones by Katja Ballin. This is about an author who stumbles upon a life-changing historical find at a writer's retreat. A woman's body, remarkably preserved for thousands of years, is unearthed. A team of archaeologists arrive, and Anna begins to frequent the dig site, growing obsessed with the realization that she knows the woman's face. We then have Ruin's Child by Giada Scodelario. This is a winner of the Nobel Prize. I don't know, I really like the cover. This is about 6 women who share a space in a crumbling apartment tower in what might be uptown New York City. Every time I see New York City, I'm like, New York City, where they gather for one holiday every year to film the day and watch the ever-lengthening footage of all the previous holidays. I don't know if I like it, but libraries are free. So we've got Mother is Watching by Karma Brown. Restore, Reveal, Destroy. This is about sacrificing everything to one's art. I'll just leave it there. I don't want to bore you by reading out the entire blurby blurbs, but yes, fantastic day, wonderful. Even though it's freezing cold, I should have brought a jacket. It is winter on the weekend. Goodbye, autumn. It was a wonderful autumn. It actually was a really fantastic warm autumn, so couldn't have been happier with autumn. Winter, on the other hand, would very much like to fast forward through, but I will try to romanticize the shit out of it if I can.
Look at this little munchkin, guys. She's on the schmoof book. She's sleeping on the book. Yes, you are. I love you. I love you.
Okay, guys, I have an update for you. So I did finish reading Parade of Horribles by Matt Dinniman. As I expected, this is my least favorite installment in the series. I ended up on a 3.5, and majority of that rating was thanks to the last portion of the book where everything finally kicked off. So let's talk about it. First of all, may have ruined kangaroos for me, mate. So, just gonna put that out there. Some gnarly stuff with some kangaroos. This had a lot of new characters, most of which were NPCs. I didn't care about them. I didn't care about the human crawlers that ended up dying. So this, just had a whole bunch of characters that I was like, why do I care? And yeah, that wasn't great. We then had a book that mostly felt like a filler. So we're at book 8, and this felt like it was going backwards. It went on for way too long, this level. I wasn't really into the Mario Kart Fast and Furious game that they were playing. It had a fuck ton of exposition and information dumping in it as well. But personally, I think this could have been a 350 page book. It did not need to be as big as it was. I don't know if authors feel pressured to make each installment in a series longer than the one before, but for me personally, quality and length have nothing to do with each other. I don't think a book is of high quality because it is longer. So I say, if this particular story really should be condensed, just condense it. And this one really should have been condensed quite a lot. And to be honest, I don't even think we needed to dedicate a whole book to this one particular level. I think we could have done the level run really quickly, gotten to the stuff at the end, and then gotten into the next level, which is the ascendancy level that includes the gods, which is a storyline I am very interested in. So I'm into the gods, I'm into the whole thing of this round. But yeah, this entire book just felt like a filler book, and it went on for way too goddamn long. And I think that's what killed most of the enjoyment. Like I said, the best part of it was the end. There was a lot of talk about primals, and if you recall, Carl, as his being of choice, chose to be a primal. And I don't want to talk more about that, but I have a reader theory about how him being a primal plays into all this lore, folklore that we're getting about the primals, all the mythology involved. I love Prepotente still. So Prepotente is this goat that was brought in, and just like Princess Donut, they were able to gain sentience and level up, and he's incredibly intelligent. His reading as neurodivergent to me, but I just really love him. So I'm glad we got a bit more page time with him. I like the Altered Beast reference. Level up. My brother and I never clocked Altered Beast. We're never able to, so I don't know how that ends. I might actually Google that now that we can do that on the internet and find out like what happens when you clock the game when it's 100% completion. So we'll see. I'll look into that later. I still love the game playing elements. I felt like they were also drawn out just too much. A lot of the AI rants, I was like, was that whole diatribe, that whole speech you just did completely necessary? Was all of that completely necessary? A lot of that wasn't funny either, so we could have cut that down. So I just felt like this was very bloated and would have benefited from a lot of trimming. It would have been a more enjoyable book. 3.5 is still a good rating, but that's mostly contingent upon my immense enjoyment of the previous 7 novels. And like I said, everything that happened right at the end, but we finally got some progression and action and intrigue. So yeah, my least favorite, it still had all the the same tropes because it's continuance in the series. So, you know, defiance against these impossible, oppressive systems where all you can do is try to rebel in any way you can. But Carl especially is very much trying to not be affected by the game and to hold on to the last shreds of his humanity. But it's very hard to continue surviving without emotional numbness. They are going through insane levels of trauma, insane. And yet he's still persisting, and he's very much being driven by his friendships and his loyalty to Princess Donut. And I do think, though, at the end of the day, his loyalty to Princess Donut will supersede his friendships with everybody else, all the other human crawlers. But yeah, it's just, you know, watching humans in this insane apocalyptic AI game show scenario. So it's still entertaining, but yeah, this was the weakest of all of them. I'm really excited though for the next one, just based on what level they're on and what whom they'll be competing against. This one felt very heavy with the plot armor though as well. It was very Deus Ex Machina. And I was like, yeah, I don't think we're going to lose any of the core team in this round. And just the way that they managed to work around all of these impossible circumstances was a bit like, all right, my dude, all right. But yeah, eat the rich, guys. Eat the fucking rich. So that was Parade of Horribles. I've still yet to try Acha. I'm still going to try that. Not sure what else I'll go on to. Oh, I'm going to be cooking some recipes from this. V highlighted a lot of them, so I'll let you know as I make them what she thinks of them. Today we've got medical appointments. It's just been a very medical appointment heavy couple of weeks for us, but my stepmom's going in for surgery today, so I'm going to see if I can stop by and visit her if the visiting hours align with when she's out of surgery. It's my dad's birthday today as well, but it's a bit of a heavy day for him because his partner is obviously going to surgery, so he just wanted to be alone. He said he'll call me later. So I don't know if I'm going to see him today, probably not. After my kids' medical appointments, I might just go and stop into a cafe real quick and get myself a sweet treat to reward myself for how busy I have been non-stop. I'm looking forward to a rest day tomorrow, but I'll see you guys soon.
Is it? I know, that does look actually really good.
Hello, my lovelies. Quick update. I did try reading Pandora Star. This book was too mid to be over 1,000 pages long. This is a 1,200 page book, and it was just very mediocre, old school sci-fi. And I'm like, no, this is not going to be worth the time it is going to take to invest in reading it. So I did DNF that one. I will now go on to Edible Woman by Margaret Atwood, because that was also one of my pulls for this vlog. And I will also read Aisha as well. I've got to get onto it and at least try it. I'm going to the library today, so I will be doing a library haul. Okay guys, I am back and I have books. I've got books. I've also got beef bulgogi and Dalgona coffee, so I'm set for lunch. We've got Crazy Genie, translated by Liesl Schillinger, and it says, Marie lives with her mother Jeannie in a ramshackle house by a willow-lined river in rural France. Every morning, Jeannie walks to the neighbouring farms. Once she was a light-hearted girl, and now they call her Crazy Jeannie. It says it is devastating in its portrayal of a child's unconditional love and of society's callous prejudices. So we'll see how that is. I've also got Afterbirth by Emma Cleary. And this one says, in the wake of a fraught and ill-omened romance, Brooke arrives in Vancouver to care for her sister Izzy, who is facing reproductive surgery. But Izzy's rapidly decaying apartment building, its hallways stalked by an ominous figure known only as Medusa, offers little refuge to the sisters. Seeking solace in the horror movies her ex-girlfriend loved, Brooke soon finds traces of horror bleeding from the screen into their lives. Old wounds reopen and new tensions surface. When Brooke begins to exhibit strange symptoms of her own, the line between self and sister blurs. We'll give that a go. Am I glaring too much? I'm trying to figure out where I can go so my glasses don't glare. Okay, we've got Cleo Dang Would Rather Be Dead by Mai Nguyen. Very bright. Death is hard, living is harder. Chloe Dang would know. All she ever wanted is to be a mother. The day she discovers she's pregnant is the happiest of her life, especially when she hears that her best friend Paloma is also expecting. It's a wonderful surprise. But when they both go to the hospital, something goes very wrong. Paloma comes home with a baby, Cleo does not. Oof, this is going to be heavy. Ravaged by grief, Cleo must navigate life after losing her baby. But then she finds work at a funeral home where she meets a revolving cast of bereaved locals and discovers the power of confronting grief. Look, grief though, for me, when it's done right in a book, is a winning theme. Afternoon Hours of a Hermit by Patrick Cottrell. And who did I think I was, trying to teach the troubled youth how to write? I would say I was Dan Moran, a Korean adoptee, single, approaching 40, once plain in appearance as a woman, now ugly as a man. That's who or what I thought I was. Most importantly, I was no longer useless. I was a writer. Is this a memoir? No, it's an existential noir, an absurd comedy, a complex character study, and a heartbreaking inquiry into the paradox of identity, memory, and the very enterprise of writing fiction. All right, then we've got a non-fic, All-Consuming Why We Eat the Way We Eat Now by Ruby Tando. I just love a pink book. Being into food, following and making it, queuing for it and discussing it is no longer a subculture, it is mass culture. I am a foodie, so I'm definitely part of that culture. And then we've got Magus of the Library by Mitsu Izumi #2. This one has Sedona on the cover. I am excited to get into this one again. Hopefully this is another 5-star read and this will be as beloved as Freren is for me. And I think today I am going to take myself to see a movie. I've heard a lot of chitter chatter about Obsession and Backrooms. They're both horrors and psychological supposedly, which is that's my genre of horror. I love psychological horror. So I think I'm going to do that, and if I do, I will give you my post-movie review. Hello lovelies, I don't have a reading update because I was finishing off my Shirley Jackson vlog, but I did watch some movies. I did not go see Obsession or Backrooms, just the times weren't suitable for me. So I saw Mortal Kombat 2. So Mortal Kombat is based on a video game. It's about... I forgot my review. I love that Johnny Cage called the Mortal Kombat some fucking Squid Game murder party. That's hilarious. And I also loved the Aussie character Kano. He was a funny cunt. A battle to win worlds, and fighters, the best fighters from each world, compete in a battle to the death in order to be victorious, and they've come to Earth, so Earth has sent its best fighters, one of which is Johnny Cage, a action movie star. It's nostalgia. It's nostalgia. I used to play Mortal Kombat with my brother. I was either, oh my god, I've forgotten her name, Milana? It wasn't Katana, it was the other one. I played her, or I played Scorpion. Get over here. So those were the two that I played. I wasn't big into Mortal Kombat though. I preferred Street Fighter or Streets of Rage as my main games. But yeah, I enjoyed this movie. I gave it a 3.25. It's absolutely fine for what it is. And I watched something else. Oh, Lair of the White Worm. So one of my viewers recommended this to me. I can't remember who, I'm sorry. When I said that I was really getting into sort of campy 70s and 80s horror. And let me tell you about this movie. So we've got a group of friends. We've got 2 girls and 2 guys, and they're on a farm, and the girls' parents have gone missing, and then they end up excavating this giant skull of what looks to be a giant serpent, and there's mosaics depicting a serpent. It turns out, yeah, there is a cult that used to worship the great white worm, and it was at odds with Christianity, and they may or may not have acolytes still serving them to this day, especially with virgin sacrifices. So I love this. Yeah, I loved it. I gave it a 4.5 stars. Look, you have to remember that it is a product of its time. It's made in the 80s. There is gratuitous nudity, full frontal. There are really weird rape scenes that involve like strap-ons and Jesus Christ. It's just skip past those. You know what I mean? Just if they bother you, just skip past them. I could just put them aside. They weren't realistically done. They were over the top, exaggerated, campy scenes, but like them aside, I thought this was a fun time. The character, Lady Sylvia.
Well, the water should be hot enough now. So it's a nice bath for you and then dinner.
I would let her eat me. I'm just saying. I would let her eat me. I am obsessed. I am obsessed. Her fashion in this was to die for. I'm in love with her. And I have to say this too. In my entire life, never once have I found Hugh Grant attractive. Not once. However, his character in this, who is a lord that is descendant from the great worm slayers, would. Look, the toff accent goes a long way. It is my number one sexy accent. A toff accent is just a very posh, British, aristocratic accent with exemplary pronunciation and articulation and diction. That is my number one sexy accent. It just does something for me. Number 2 would be Italian and 3 would be French. But yeah, I had a rollicking good time. So thank you to whoever recommended this to me. It's up my alley. It's up my alley. It's a lot of hot people, naked people, funny, ridiculous campness. Yeah. 4.5 stars. It's definitely going to be making my top 10 movies of the year. So that was fun. I still hope to see Obsession and The Backrooms. They're still high on my priority list, but not today. I was meant to go out today with my mum for lunch, but my ex has said that Indiana is sick and he has plans today, so he's driving her here to drop her off. Anyway, so I'm just going to have to reschedule my mum. I do still need to pop out to the supermarket because I did an online shop and they arrived at 10 p.m. last night and half of my order was missing. Half. So I have to go and replace the other half today, so that's what I'm doing today. Okay, the design on these popsicles is amazing. Okay, quick library haul. So we've got Teen Titans Starfire by Cami Garcia Gabriel Piccolo. So kids and I have been reading through this series. And then I've got this one, The Delusions by Jenny Fagan. Super cute kitty. Is it on the back? It is. There is no such thing as successful lying here. You can't just blame someone else because we already know exactly who you are and every single thing you have done. It's right here in your file. Everybody has one. The newly dead find out quickly that all the things they lived in denial about in life are the very things they're going to have to face, or they just don't make it through it all. All red. Interesting. So, mini library haul.
Hey, Blue. Hi. Bluebell. Bubbles.
Hello, my darlings. I have a lot of updates for you. So I have watched some movies. I'm going to start with the movies. So I watched The Bride. This is set in 1930s Chicago, and it's about a scientist who is tasked with making a bride from a reanimated corpse for Frankenstein's monster. Okay. So look, I think this was meant to be feminist. I didn't find it particularly feminist because we've got a mob call girl who has zero agency. She's then possessed without consent by the ghost of Mary Shelley. She's then killed whilst possessed. She's then brought back to life, once again without her consent, to be the fuck buddy for Frankenstein, once again without her consent. So I'm like, this just feels icky. I don't feel it to be very feminist. I did not like that they made Mary Shelley, the author of Frankenstein, a character in this. I just didn't think it worked. I think Mary Shelley would turn in her grave. I found it very cringe. The way that she would possess Ida, the call girl too, was done in a very like Tourette's manner. I don't know, man. And like Frankenstein was gaslighty and gross. Yeah, this just did not work for me. I loved the putting on the Ritz scene. I think that was fabulous, but I didn't really like anything in the movie besides the fashion. Christian Bale and whoever the female actress was who portrayed the bride and Mary Shelley, she was fabulous, but it looks like I've got a pixie cut right now. I didn't like it that much. I gave it a 3. It was okay. I had, I think, higher expectations of this going in, and it didn't live up to those expectations, unfortunately. So it wasn't as good as I was hoping it would be. Edible Woman by Margaret Atwood. I did DNF. I just found it really boring. It's an older book, and I just didn't care about the characters in it, and the writing style's not really something I particularly love, so I did DNF that. The Arthur C. Clarke Awards, the shortlist was just announced, so I thought I'd just quickly go through it since I'm not doing a dedicated blog for that one. So we've got Dungeon Crawler Carl, which if you watch my channel, you know I do love that series. It's just really fun. I gave the first book in the series 4 stars, so that's fab. The Dream Hotel. This one I gave a DNF. I just found it really depressing. It was about a future dystopian world where people's dreams are policed, and if you do something in your dream, it's considered that you might, end up committing a crime in the future, so they lock you up, and it's almost like once you're incarcerated, you'll never get out. And it was just really depressing and rage-inducing, and I just didn't want to read it. So I did DNF that one. Luminous, I am hoping to read. So this has been on my TBR for a while. I did request it from the library. I'm just waiting for it to come in. Hey, pretty lady. Hey, pretty lady. Hey, pretty lady. Then there Is No Anti-Memetics Division by Quantum. This was another 4-star read for me. This is something that both is so confusing and yet also terrifying. This is one of those books that I think a lot of people find it difficult to give you a summation of, but I think you should try it out. It's just very twisty, mind-bendy sci-fi. I'm going to sneeze. And what's next? When There Are Wolves Again. I haven't read this, but this actually intrigued me, so I am going to borrow this and give it a read. And The Salt Oracle is unfortunately just not available at any of my libraries, so I won't be trying that one out. But look, so far 2 4 stars on there, so it could be an award in the future that I do read the shortlist of, because I don't believe that they do a long list, it's just a short list. But yeah, I'm going to try Luminous and When There Are Wolves Again and see which one is my favorite out of their nominees. I have read a book, so I did read the second installment, bless you, in Magus of the Library by Mitsu Izumi. So this is about he looks like an elven boy named Theo, and he's on a quest to become a Kafna, which is a magical librarian baddie. And so he's going to the city of Aftzak to participate in the trials, in the test, to become this elite librarian scholar. But he's just such a sweetheart. He's a sweet, very kind boy. I would say his biggest characteristic is his kindness. He has a way with animals as well, these magical beasts. He befriends them, and in this one he saves this sort of rat-like creature from abuse, and he touches my heart. He's such a sweetheart. However, in this one, a lot of the people that he came across were not likable characters, so he ended up stumbling into this absolutely racist girl. Like, the things that she was saying, I'm like, should you really be writing that in the book? Could you maybe just have conferred that she was racist without her actually being full-on racist on page? But naturally, just by meeting Theo, he rubs off on her and she's changed for the better. And that's kind of like Theo's gift, is that he just brings out the best in people, even though he's come from bullying and being an outcast and being shunned by society and being so alone. Oh, such a sweetheart. So, but I gave this one a 3.75. I didn't love it as much. This series does tend to be very exposition info dumpy, which I don't love. I do like the illustration styles, and I'm willing to give it another book to see if I want to continue on with the series. For me, in a series, they have to at least be getting 4 stars every time for me to want to continue on my journey. So hopefully the next one will be 4-star or higher, and I will continue on. But yeah, it's mostly about how kindness can really change lives, as well as just growing as an individual, especially through things like travel. Being exposed to different cultures and different people can transform you. So that was lovely. What am I currently doing? So I'm currently reading Crazy Genie, translated by Liesl Schillinger, and this is about a girl who lives with her mother. Everyone in the village thinks that her mother is crazy. It's set in rural France. And I think it's like 1940s, 1950s. I can't quite remember, but I'm only 9 pages in to this one, so just started, but we'll see how I go. I'm listening to Rotten Heart by Kat Dunn. I'm just going to double check. I believe this is a Sapphic sort of Shakespearean story. I think it's actually based on a Shakespearean tale. I just want to make sure. I feel like it was Macbeth. I just want to fact check myself. I love both covers for this actually, but I think I might like the neon one a bit more. You've got Odette and Cecilia, who are bosom buddies. There is on-page sex in this one. And Odette's mother has just died, but she's now being haunted by the ghost of her mother because her mother has said that she has been murdered by her sister, who has now become her new stepmummy. Her daddy moved on real quick. It's set in Suffolk, set in the 1890s. Hamlet, not Macbeth, Hamlet. See, I knew I wasn't quite sure if I got my memory correct. It's based on Hamlet. So at the moment, I'm about 20% of the way through. I think the audiobook is really good so far. I don't know. Sometimes I really get into the Sapphic Gothic, haunting ghost, manor, forbidden love, murder twist plot, secret books. And then sometimes I'm like, oh, it feels more of the same. I've already read a lot of this genre and it just feels more like the genre and nothing new and exciting. The writing is fantastic though, I must admit. Beautiful lyrical writing, very romantic, kind of melancholic. But yeah, we'll just see. At the moment, I'm going to continue on. I just not sure I'm gaga over it. And I want something that's really riveting me and I'm sinking my teeth into and I want to devour it. At the moment, I'm like, I'll put it down for now and I'll go and do some other things. So we'll see. I'll probably give it another 10%, I reckon 30%, and then decide, is it feeling like less than a 3.5 star? So maybe move on to something else. I have noticed that my reading has slowed down significantly. So I decided to retest myself. And I used to read at a speed of about 700 words per minute with full 100% comprehension retention. And so I retested myself and I now am reading at a speed of 400 with about 80% retention and comprehension. And I don't care about the, I'm going to be reading less books this year factor. I really don't give a shit about the quantity of books I read. That does not matter to me. But yes, the number I managed to read at the end of the year doesn't mean diddly squat to me. Not whatsoever. What this drop in speed and comprehension and retention is signifying to me is that, have I got a bit of inflammation going on? Am I just getting older? This is just because I'm 40 now and things are slowing down cognitively, or should I be working on my brain health a little bit more? So for me, I am going to assume that it is not age related, that it is maybe have a bit more inflammation, especially cerebrally, and I'm going to try and improve that because, man, when you have witnessed multiple family members succumb to diseases like dementia and psychosis and Alzheimer's, it's a very big fear. It's a big, I don't want that to be my fate sort of thing. Personally, I would rather die at 70 years of age with my full mental capabilities and capacity and functionality and faculties than live another 10 to 20 years in this state of deterioration where I'm no longer able to recognize the people I love or to know where I am in time and space and all of that jazz. I would rather go out while I'm still myself completely than have more time in a sickened, diseased body that ends up being a prison. I know that when you're going through that, sometimes you do have moments of lucidity, and my family members did. And yeah, during one of those moments, my grandmother said to me that she feels like a prisoner in her own body, and she hates the pain that she's causing the family members that she lashes out in her altered state, and she didn't want anybody to remember her that way, and she just wanted to be free, and she wanted to die, and she wanted to be with her family. So yeah, it's just something that I want to avoid at all costs. I literally just read today too, it's funny how you get the synchronicity thing, this morning on Reddit, that they gave 5 grams of psilocybin, which, you know, big fan here, to a woman with advanced Alzheimer's that had become reduced to being monosyllabic and not there, and she was all of a sudden able to talk, and she was discussing her childhood and her life as if she wasn't afflicted by the condition. And I'm just, that sort of thing is absolutely exciting to me. I know, for instance, how cannabis has had a positive effect on Parkinson's disease, even though it is temporary. It's only while the substance lasts and then it wears off. But maybe there's like some, like I said, untapped potential there with all of these drugs that used to be considered illicit and illegal and bad for UMK. And it's like, well, yeah, let's actually not do that. Let's explore these, because look, they might have phenomenal benefits for some people. They could be the doorway to effective treatment. But for me, it's all about prevention rather than cure. So, like I said, I'm not sad that I'm taking longer to read books, but I am sad that I'm not retaining as much, and also that it might be indicative of some brain inflammation. So I'm just going to refresh my memory on how to, reduce inflammation and improve brain health and neuroplasticity and functioning, and see if that has a positive effect, because I'm sure it's also impacting the rest of my life, not just my reading. But the reading was a very easy way to get the data, to get instant data and clarification and confirmation of what I was suspecting. So yes, that's a side tangent of mine. I am going to go to the library today and pick up some books, even though I've barely made a dent in the ones I already have. But you've only got 1 week to pick up books that you've reserved, so I've got to get in there before I lose them. And so I'll come back and do a book haul for you. Yeah, I'm back, and I got random, but I got books. So I've got I Eat the Stars, How to Live Fully and Beautifully in a Collapsing World by Sarah Wilson. Oh, it's not illustrated. For some reason, with that kind of cover, I assumed it would be illustrated, but it is not. We've got Blinding the Left Wing by Mercia Catrescu. So it says, we exist between the past and future like the vermiform body of a butterfly in between its 2 wings. Beneath the streets of communist Bucharest lies hidden passages lost to memory. There are underground jazz clubs, traveling circuses, secret police, and zombie hordes. And this is where her childhood is also. So it's part memoir. So we'll see how I go. It's a pretty thick memoir. Exemplary Humans by Juliana Leiter, and it's translated by Zoe Perry. So it says, ever since the unnamed threat took over, 100-year-old Natalia has been stuck inside her Rio de Janeiro apartment alone. Her loved ones have gone, but they've never really left. The Mother is Restless and She Doesn't Know Why by Gemma Parker. I do really like this cover. This is a memoir about the life-affirming magic of nihilism. And the last one, once again, beautiful cover, Favorita by Michelle Steinbeck. On the wall in my grandmother's kitchen, there is a mortadella-coloured rotary telephone. It rings. I lift the receiver and say nothing into it. Very, very gorgeous cover. So those were my library hauls today.
Hi, honey. Love you.
Hello, my darlings. I have a lot of updates for you. I'm going to start with the movies. So I watched Obsession, and Obsession is sort of be careful what you wish for. So this is about a man who is crushing on one of his co-workers. It is very clear that she does not have romantic feelings for him, and he ends up purchasing this one wish willow item from an esoteric shop, and he makes a wish that she loves him more than anyone else in the fucking world. And he gets his wish. So it is a great horror. I will say that. The main character Bear is a fucking selfish, coward, nice guy. The wishes in general, they're not evil. So sometimes with these wish things, it's no matter what you wish for, it will be warped to an evil intent. However, this is why Jeannie said, you can't wish for me to make anyone fall in love with you, because it's an evil fucking wish. Bear's wish is evil. It does not take into account Nikki's consent and free will. She does not love him. She does not have romantic feelings for him. So when he wishes that she is madly in love with him, it's Nikki's body, but Nikki's no longer in control because Nikki doesn't feel that way about him. So his wish is fucked up and ruins everybody's life because it is evil by nature. And he has multiple opportunities to do the right thing, but he never does. There's no character growth for him. He remains the same selfish coward he was in the beginning. He's an asshole. He ruins everybody's lives, and it is horrible to watch. He rapes her. He just wants access to her body, even though he knows it's not what she wants. He continues on with the ruse because he doesn't care. He wants what he wants, and what he wants is Nikki. I ended up giving this a 3.5. That's because I am not a fan of the type of horror this was. So when I looked it up, it said it was a psychological suspense supernatural horror, and I was like, okay, cool, great. This is a gore and violence horror. I don't love those. I don't do well with extreme violence. This had one of my least favorite depictions of that, in which someone's face gets repeatedly bashed in until it is disintegrated. I hate it. I hated it in Pan's Labyrinth. I hated it in Irreversible. I hated it in this. So I can't stand that stuff. So that is why it's a 3.5. That being said, the movie's just really well done. The actors are fantastic, especially Indy, who plays Nikki. Her range of facial expressions was phenomenal. And this is what makes me sad when I see so many thespians these days resorting to Botox and facial surgery, cosmetic surgery. It limits the range of expression on their faces. And I feel like that is such a vital part of acting, is portraying the emotion, using your facial muscles. And like I said, Indy's command of her face in this to portray emotion, and her body too, the way she moved her body was phenomenal. The voice too, she just slayed. She absolutely slayed this role. I love the way it was shot. I love the use of light and shadow and noise and sound to portray just creepiness. This was a creepy fucking movie. Very well done horror, just not my kind of horror because I can't stand the violence. I know to both versions of the ending, and I think both are absolutely fine. I actually don't know which one I would prefer, the one that we see or the one they had originally planned to have. I think they're both phenomenal. So it is an excellent horror, but yeah, I am just a bit of a baby when it comes to on-screen violence, and this had a lot of it. And then I went and saw Backrooms. So Backrooms is about this owner of a furniture store who's going to therapy, and he ends up finding this secret doorway that branches out into this endless stretch of rooms that are bizarre. It's uncanny valley. It's someone's designed this while on acid. He ends up disappearing, and then his therapist goes in after him. So this movie was not my jam. I gave it 2.5 stars. First off, I will say that I'm not a fan of found footage or hand cam stuff. Blair Witch wasn't for me. I don't like the erratic motion and the lower quality in film. It just doesn't work for me. I find it annoying, and this had a lot of cam footage. The pacing was very off. It was slow, and this was also confusing. If you don't have knowledge of the YouTube series this is based on, you are going to be missing a lot of context, which I was, and I had to end up going down a Reddit rabbit hole afterwards to understand this movie. I am also very sensitive to noises, and this had a lot of noises, like unpleasant sounds in it. So yeah, it was just a 2.5. I just found it a bit of a nothing burger of a movie, quite frankly. So that did not live up to the hype. And then I watched Scary Movie 6 because my teenager wanted to watch Scary Movie 6. This is a dumb fucking movie, guys. Like, if you've seen any of them, you've seen all of them. Personally, I jumped ship after the second one when I realized, oh, it's more of the same jokes. It's the same movie, just on repeat. So I watched the first two and then never watched any of the other ones until now. And look, the main reason I watched this, besides my daughter wanting to watch it, is because the Wayans brothers said that if this does well, they will do a White Chicks 2. White Chicks is one of my GOAT movies. It is God tier level for me. I know it's dumb, it's stupid, I don't care. It makes me laugh. I quote it all the time, and I showed it to my Gen Z and Gen A kid, and both of them loved it. So it's one of those movies that can cross generations. It's just one of my favorite movies, and I'm not going to apologize for being obsessed with it. And I would really like a sequel. I don't think the sequel will live up to the first. I don't care. I've seen the first movie so many times. I'd love to see the same characters in something else. So I am hoping that they do White Chicks 2. But Scary Movie for me was a 2-star movie. Yeah, I just didn't find it funny. These jokes are old and tired. My 15-year-old, though, she did enjoy it and she thought it was really funny. She's never seen any of the scary movies. So I guess if you're seeing it for the first time, perhaps the jokes are still fresh for you. But yeah, it wasn't for me. And then I watched In the Grey. So In the Grey is about a covert team of elite operatives who are tasked with retrieving $1 billion from this crime lord guy that owns this financial corporation in America. And a lawyer goes with her, yeah. Team of boys, and they call her mum and she calls them her children. Oh my God, there is a cool fucking parrot.
Is it a king parrot? Oh my gosh, you're so cute. Hi.
Sorry guys, but I am a bird lady. For show. For show. Okay, so In the Grey. 3-star movie. It's nothing new. It's the same sort of Guy Ritchie, well, to be honest, I don't think it's his best. Let's just say that. Action movie with Henry Cavill. I was obviously watching for Henry Cavill. 3 stars, that's fine. Did what it needed to do. I wanted to get the obsession out of my head before I went to sleep at night, okay? I didn't want to be scared of the dark. And it achieved its aims. So those are all the movies that I have watched thus far. Reading, I haven't finished anything because I was reading books for my Halloween vlog. The last one I read was called Motherfucking Sharks, and my dudes, this is the weirdest motherfucking book I've read. I've read a lot of weird books. This is definitely up there with some of the more bizarro ones, but you will have to wait until Halloween to hear my full review of that one. But what am I currently reading? So I'm reading All Consuming, The Way We Eat and Why We Eat the Way We Eat Now by Ruby Tando. I like the other cover more than this one, so I'll pop that one up on the screen. I'm only on page 43. So the first one was Craving Content, The Unstable Art of Selling a Recipe, and they were focusing a lot on some company called Mob. I have no idea what that is. I think that's more of an American thing. And then they had On the Seventh Day They Cooked, and that's newspaper supplements inventing British foodies, which once again isn't my cultural thing. And now we're on All Recipes, chaotic recipes of the realists internet. I do remember All Recipes. I was more of an epicurious.com fan personally. I am absolutely a foodie. I think most of us are foodies these days, but I did used to run a food blog, and I would make, before children, I would make a different recipe for breakfast, lunch, and dinner every single day. I fucking kid you not. Every single day, I cooked something new. My ex-husband loved it because, oh look, it was a catch-22. When there was a recipe he really, really loved, he was bummed that he wouldn't see it again for probably, a few years. But I'm sorry, a bunch of rosellas just flew past the window. I need to plant natives that all these birds eat. I want to have a garden filled with parrots. So I got to get on planting. I know I'm feeding the lorikeets some seeds and some apples, but I want to stop doing that and just plant trees and shrubs and that they eat naturally, and just have a bird feeding garden and they can just help themselves, because I want to get some more of the parrots in. So when my ex-boyfriend comes back, he's got a lot to do. As I was saying, yeah, I used to cook a different recipe every single day. I loved, like, I think it was epicurious.com, Bon Appetit, Gourmet Traveler, Delicious, all of those sorts of things. I followed other food bloggers as well, and I would cook their recipes, but I was just obsessed with trying something new. I am a hedonist when it comes to food. I obtain great pleasure from it. I enjoy it. It's a ritual for me to just eat delicious things and savor them. And so I like trying new foods, even though because of my health conditions, I have a restricted diet at home. When I go out, if I want to eat some gluten or these other things that I normally abstain from at home to keep my conditions in check, I will indulge. I find that, yeah, a meal here and there each week is okay for me. I'm still able to stay mostly in remission of my conditions by eating well at home and then indulging now and again when I go out, because life's short. I'm not for complete 100% restriction. I just derive so much happiness from food, and it's just a cheap way of having a novel experience, of being able to taste something new for not a lot of dollars. It's a fun time, and I love that I live in Melbourne, which has always been a hot pot of diverse cultures. So we've always had access to different countries' cuisines, which is just such a treat. And it's once again an easy way to travel. If you can't go to China, have some traditional Chinese cooking and food, and it's like you're getting a taste of that country and its people. So I fucking love food. I'm interested to see how we're influenced. I think in today's internet culture, food fads are global. So something will be hot right now, and my kids, well, my 15-year-old who's allowed on TikTok, will say, I really want to try this recipe. This is, I really want to go to this place to eat this particular thing. I think salted milk bread was making a bit of a splash recently. That was the most recent cultural thing. And now there was like a blue matcha that was made with like blue curacao for Fashion Week, I think it was. And that was like the hot thing to try. So I love it. As I said, food generally can be something that's more affordable for people in different class brackets, whereas like, the latest designer handbag, most of us are not going to partake in that trend, whereas we can have a pretzel, because pretzels are really in right now, and eat that. Or mochi donuts were banging at one point. We still like those. So I'm interested to see what else this is going to touch on in terms of how food, by that respect too, I think sometimes diets are also something that hit crazes. I remember back in the day, Beyonce and all them were touting it was that maple syrup, lemon juice, cayenne pepper cleanse, whatever the fuck. No shade to anyone who partook in that, but for me, I was like, lemon juice, maple syrup, and cayenne pepper. First of all, fuck my tooth enamel, I guess, and second of all, I'm not interested in any of those things. I actually have a bit of an allergy to the pepper family, and that would have fucked me up. But I remember like things go nuts, keto and all of them. I'm more interested in the food. I love keeping up to date with what's the latest thing. I think Wendy's is opening in Melbourne tomorrow, and they're doing this free 1,000 burgers thing. I'm not going to be going, but I was like, I probably will try Wendy's burger. I know it's trash, but I like to try it and see what it's all about. So I'm enjoying reading this thus far. I don't know if I'll get tired of it at a certain point and not want to finish. Who knows? We'll see. But I'm reading that. I'm going out into the city today. It's a nice winter's day today. Like, what does that even mean? It means it's not horribly cold. It is bearable as long as I rug up a little bit. And because I know the weather is just wither the weather, because I know the weather is going to get colder and wetter, since we've only just begun winter, I'm trying to front load my outings because I will become a hermit. I don't like going out in awful weather. It just takes too many spoons away from me just to be out in the world. So I'm sorry, I keep getting distracted by my own cleavage. Bisexual problems. So I'm going to the city today. I missed the Rising Festival, which really bummed me out, but I had sick children and, you know, a mum's got to do what a mum's got to do. Kids come first. So I did miss out on the Rising Festival, which I loved last year, but there's always next year. It's just because too, my ex-husband has been going on countless holidays. So I'll have the kids for 2 weeks straight before he comes back, and that's just what's been happening. And he's going away again on the coming weekend. So I've got the kids for a 2 week stretch once they're returned today. So I'm trying to hustle and get out there while I can. I'm going to probably try and see a different bookstore, visit an independent bookstore I haven't visited before. And I might allow myself to buy a book if something tickles my fancy. But otherwise, I'm just going to hit up as many shops as I can. I want some different drinks to try. There's a matcha Einspanner that is also very popular right now, an Einspanner drink. There's a coffee version and a matcha with coffee. I try to avoid it unless I can get decaf. Regular coffee just sets off my anxiety. I don't get the energy burst. I'm just shaking because I'm freaking out on the inside. It's not, I love the taste of it, but unless I'm at home very regulated, it's not a fun experience to have it while I'm out and overstimulated. So most of the time I'll only get it if a decaf is an option or if there's no other drinks that I fancy on the menu. Otherwise I tend to gravitate more towards a matcha, which my nervous system is more on board with. I'm also picking up some gluten-free delights from a bakery, so you have to order the day before, and I've just never been organized enough to do it, and today I've done it. So because a lot of the gluten-free bread's just not great. So I'm trying out some breads for them and some desserts from them. I might drop off one to my mum for a surprise treat, but I'm going to be taking her out later this week because I had to cancel on her last week because I ended up having my children for 2 weeks, which I wasn't expecting. So yeah, I'm just trying to get out and about while the weather still is conducive for it. Absolutely love this kind of architecture. Gorgeous, gorgeous. Oh man, that sucks. Okay, I was going to go to Seven Seeds, but no tables. This was such a long fucking walk. This was a long walk, and I'm like, oh, Pot's episode coming on, but I've got to make it somewhere, so I've got to walk back and just go into the first cafe I find. Queen Big Market, another very popular destination.
Oh, you're so cute. You guys are so cute. Pink gloves.
I don't know why this is happening to me, but I just got shit on by a bird. This is the second time in 1 week. I better get a lot of luck, man. Hello lovelies, I'm just coming on quickly to give you some context. So I am going to take my mum out to a cafe today, and she also wanted to visit a crystal shop. I will not buy any crystals because I have way too many fucking crystals. I have so many rocks on rocks on rocks on rocks. I don't know why I'm doing that. Why am I doing that? I've been awake since 3 a.m. So your girl is tired and overwired, and pray for me that I make it through the day today on the very little sleep that I've had. I'm also going to hit up the library because I just had a slew, a cascade, an avalanche of books come in from my reserves. So I'll be doing a book haul when I get back. Bye.
And the flame is just in reference to the shape. Oh, look at the class. I was sitting next to one of the owners.
Oh look, I kind of match with my nails.
Yes, you do.
My outfit today.
There you go.
Okay, I'm back. Let me show you all of the books. I am not going to read the blurbs out for all of these. There's too many. There's too many books. Okay, we're starting with, oh look, it's a colour match. The Resistance of Witches by Morgan Ryan. It says, Prime Minister Churchill, the witches of Britain are at your service. It's the year 1943 and Hitler's armies are rampaging across Europe and the witches of Britain have joined the fight. We'll say I don't normally love real World War books, but it's got a magical element, so it might be all right. Then we've got Red Threads by Illa Nguyen Hayama. The hidden world of witchcraft and magic may be closer than we think, so I thought I'd give this a looky-loo. I got this for my kids. We've got Teen Titans Robin. I think this is after Starfire. I hope it is. I just saw it and I don't know if I've given this to the kids or not, but they are reading the Teen Titans graphic novels. Then I just grabbed this because it looked cool. It was Unequal Loves by Xavier Hennekiner. It says it's a luminous meditation on love, memory, and the quiet devastations of time. It's set in Japan, Kyoto. Then we've got The Bitter Water of the Lake by Julia Caminito, translated by Hope Campbell Gustafson. So I remember I saw this in the bookstore a long time ago and I did say, I'm going to get it at my library, and I did. This is set in the 90s in Rome. We've got The Fox Hunt by Caitlin Breeze. Behind closed doors at England's most ancient university, a circle of privileged students enter into a dark pagan ritual, one that holds tantalizing power and comes at a terrible price. Then we've got Poems Tonight by Raina Maria Rilke. So this is just a collection of poetry. And then we've got These Shattered Spires by Cassidy Ellis Salter. Bone, Blood, Botany, Stone. We'll just leave it there. Raw Content by Naomi Booth. When Grace becomes unexpectedly pregnant, the rush of excitement and fear that she experiences is like joyriding again. She welcomes a partner and baby into her life, but after the euphoria of giving birth, she's overwhelmed by terrifying visions. Canon by Paige Lewis. It's a very cool cover. This has a lot of cool covers, I think. This is a story of two prophets. Yara has been chosen by God to slay Dominic, the ruthless leader of the army of bad guys. Where am I going to put these books? Something in the Walls by Daisy Pierce. An Isolated Town, a Haunted Girl, a Deadly Secret. We Are Legion, We Are Bob by Dennis E. Taylor. I saw the special edition at the bookstore and I thought, okay, let's give it a looky-loo. So this is an old school sci-fi, I'm assuming, but they must be redoing them in sprayed edges. No Man's Land by Richard Morgan. This is a dark fantasy set in a gritty post-World War I Britain, which has been overrun by the Fae. So yeah, most of these books I just reserve because I see the title and the cover on the library website. I don't go in and read the synopses for any of them. I just go, it's new, I like the cover and the title, let's go. The Library of Flowers by Elsie Chu. My name is Lucy Hua, and I come from a long line of extraordinary women. 5-ingredient Mediterranean cookbook, self-explanatory. Starside by Alex Astor. Claim Your Sword, Claim Your Fate. I don't know if I want to read this or listen to it on audiobook because I don't think this fantasy is going to be for me. So I don't think I'm going to prioritize the book hold if I don't get to it in 3 weeks. I know that there's an ebook. Then we've got My Dear You by Rachel Kong. This is a short story collection about love, life, and the anguish of becoming oneself in a time when it's so easy to be someone else. Thistlemarsh by Moria Corrigan. Welcome to Thistlemarsh, a ramshackle estate where an impoverished orphan and a beguiling fairy collide in an enchanting novel of love, revenge, and ruin. It's a beautiful cover. I've seen some people reviewing though, and so far they've all given it like 3 stars, so I'm not going to hold my breath for that one. And then we've got To Be Sacred by Haijin Kim. How far will love go to make itself holy again? And those are all of the books. So my mum and I went out. How gorgeous is the lining of this jacket, by the way? Trying not to slip I love it when they actually do cool linings. My mum and I went out. It was a bit of a schmozzle today. None of our original plans worked out. We were just ping-ponging all over the place trying to find a cafe that had some like gluten-free options. We ended up finding one, thank God. And the waiter there came up and said to us that we just look so classy. I'm like, thank you, darling. But we did end up finding a place. It was fine. The food was fine. I probably wouldn't go back there. But I did stop past the Record Cafe that I do like to get some sweets to bring home for my kids. I did order a gluten-free cake for me, and I've just checked the box, and I'm just going to double check it. Maybe it is, because I ordered some stuff for my mum too, so we might have actually gotten some of each other's orders in each other's boxes. So I'm just going to double check with her. But I am currently reading this book. So I'm currently reading The Mother is Restless and She Doesn't Know Why by Gemma Parker. It's done in a very interesting format. So as you can see, it's almost piecemeal. So we've got meditation, reevaluation, lack, and I don't know what I think about it yet. I'm only on page 10. This first bit is titled The Journey Out of Nihilism. So we're talking a lot about Nietzsche. Is that how you pronounce his name? It's been a long time since I took philosophy at university, but I did take it and I do like it. So I'm intrigued thus far. I've just been DNFing book after book after book, which gets me down, because then I start to think, do I even like reading anything? But it's just, I just haven't found the right book for me. I did end up reading half of that food book, which I forgot the name now. It was just very British American, and I really don't care to read about TikTok and Instagram and marketing and brands and things like that. So I got fatigued by it and only read half and then put it down, because I don't push through with books that are not going to get above a 4 stars for me, most likely. You know, I'm all about those odds, my dude, playing the odds. So I've got so many books. As you can see, there are always more books coming. So it's like, if something's not amazing, put it down, go on to the next thing, because you will never have enough time in your life to read all of the books that you want to sample, and you will never find all of the 5-star books for you. There will be so many 5-star books that I will never set my hands on that would have been an all-time favorite of mine, but I just didn't find them in my life. So I'm just pushing through so I can find a good read. But I might end this on Sunday regardless, because I think this vlog is getting too long. I haven't started editing it yet. So if you see me on Sunday and I'm like, so I'm finishing the vlog, it's because it got too long. We're gonna have to start another one. And do a little swap with my mum. So I got this for Indiana, and I got this for Valentine, and this for me and Indy. Okay, so I was making this, and here it is. It's very, very fudgy. Okay, we've got spinach and feta triangles. Here we go. Nova. Oh. Nova. Oh. Nova. Hello, my darlings. I'm here to close up this vlog. This has gone on way too long, so I'm just going to end it here. Before I sum up the books, I did watch another movie. So I watched The Sheep Detectives. This is about a farmer who has sheep, and every night he reads them a murder mystery, and then one day he's been murdered, and it's up to the sheep to solve who did it and bring his murderer to justice. I did cry. I will admit, I had a feeling I was going to. There are animals involved. They might be CGI, but my brain still sees them as animals, and so I got attached. I've given it a 4 stars. I thought it was a sweet family movie. We had fun guessing who the murderer was. Indiana guessed it right. So she won in the end. Slay. So that was a fun movie. And now let me sum up the books I read. So I read Death Meets Cute by Jay Penner. I gave this a 3 stars. Wicked Witch Energy Interrupted by Cottagecore Romance, and Baked Goods. Parade of Horribles by Matt Dinniman, which I gave 3.5 stars. Mario Kart with Kangaroo Trauma Mate, Magus, in the library, the second in the series by Mitsu Izumi. I gave this a 3.75 and it was my favourite read of this reading vlog. Bookworm training arc activated. And I also was cooking from I Want Dopamine for Dinner by Phoebe Thorburn. So those were all of my reads. Let me know down below who you play as in Mario Kart. I normally play as Princess Peach. Until next time. What is?
Rose gold.
Rose Gold Peach slays better.
No, but then also you play the cat peach.
I do. Okay, yes, I play Cat Peach. That is right. That is my genre of peach. Until next time, stay well, Star Child.